Good morning, students, and welcome to our English class. If you remember, we were doing the topic of pronouns and we learned what pronouns are. Again, a quick revision of what we did in our previous class. We said that pronouns are those words that are used instead of nouns, right? They come in place of the nouns. So every time you don't need to name that particular thing or the person again and again. And pronouns are of 10 kinds, of which we have done 4. Okay, children? Today we'll do another 3, and in our next class, the remaining 3. So first, what kind did we learn? We learned about personal pronouns and we classified them again into first person, second person, and third person so that you understand personal pronouns, right? Secondly, we learned about possessive pronouns stating belongings, right? Then after possessive pronouns, we learned about demonstrative, pointing, pointing out, okay? And after that, we learned about interrogative pronouns. So today also I have prepared a PDF for you and we'll cover 3 more pronouns. One is reflexive pronouns and emphatic pronouns. And the third is we'll be doing relative pronouns today. Okay, so we learn about them in detail in this PDF. I'll just display the PDF to you. Share a screen. Okay. I believe the PDF is quite clear to you all. Okay. Now, what are reflexive pronouns? Reflexive pronouns are those which reflect upon or go back to the subject. Means, what is the subject? I'll give you an example here. He hurt himself accidentally. Now, he is already the personal pronoun here. Yes, we learnt about personal pronouns. Now we are talking about the action that reflects back on the subject. What is the subject here? He. So himself has become the reflexive pronouns. She hurt herself accidentally. They hurt themselves accidentally. Okay. We hurt ourselves accidentally. Now we'll see there is another example. They will inform you themselves. Okay, children. Now let's see the different relative pronouns as we as it follows. Okay. The first one is, if we see the singular, I will become myself. Okay, but the I doesn't change. It appears in the sentence. We, what will appear in the sentence as reflexive pronouns with we, ourselves. The second person, you, yourself, and in the plural form, yourselves, many. Okay, when I'm talking to many at the same time. The third person, he will become himself, she will become herself, it will become itself, and they will become themselves. All these together will become themselves. Okay, let's see certain places where you will be using reflexive pronouns. Okay. When are reflexive pronouns used? Firstly, when the subject or the object of the verb are the same person or things, like I hurt myself. Okay, now here the subject is the same. I hurt myself. Secondly, for emphasizing, for putting in uh, more emphasis, giving more importance. I made the pie myself. So this I is wanting to show his or her talent that I made it myself. Okay. Otherwise, generally somebody else makes for us. It is used after words with prepositions to clarify which person or thing we are talking about. She is happy with herself. Okay. Here you can't use ourselves and themselves. She is happy with herself. And where it is not used, let's see, not used where people normally perform actions on themselves like washing, combing, or dressing. I am combing my hair myself. So you will not use it like that. Okay, washing, dressing, which is a part of their normal routine. Reflexive pronouns are used when someone does something he or she is not expected to do. Like give uh, the example given here is, though she is blind, she cooks food herself. Now children, see, the blind person cooking, okay, is in itself is a great thing, right? So that is why when we do a thing which a person is not expected to do, we use reflexive pronouns. Okay, and we'll move on to the emphatic pronouns, which are similar to the reflexive pronouns, but there is a difference. Okay, let's talk about that difference. What are emphatic pronouns? These are reflexive pronouns which are used for emphasis, to put in more emphasis. But the only thing is, generally emphatic pronouns, if you don't use these, then to the sentence makes sense. For example, I myself cooked the food, cooked the meal. Okay, I cooked the meal. I myself is adding more stress on, putting more emphasis on. Okay, children. Now, the example is I myself cooked the meal. We'll come across some more examples also in the exercises to follow. Okay. Mm. She herself made the pie. That is also an example of emphatic pronouns. Now see, the form of emphatic pronouns are same as that of reflexive pronouns. What were the forms? I will just display it again to you. These are the forms. Okay. The reflexive pronouns are different forms. I, myself, we, ourselves. So it will be the same. You are using those same pronouns as reflexive pronouns for he, himself, for she, herself. Okay. But one important tip for you all, which is not again a compulsion, but still when you want to identify, then what happens is, generally in emphatic pronouns, you will see the pronouns being together, following one after the other. Okay, along with the subject, the emphatic pronoun is present, but it is not a compulsion again, children. In emphatic pronouns, they are used for emphasizing the nouns, the subject there. This means that even if they are left out, the sentence will still make sense. I just told you that the sentence would stand by itself. Okay, now let's see, there's a short exercise which we will do, and it will clarify what reflexive emphatic pronouns. We have to circle them and we have to identify them. Okay. Father cut himself while shaving. Now it is reflecting on, right? Father cut himself. So it is reflexive. I went there myself. I went there makes sense. So you'll circle myself and you'll write emphatic. You yourself said that we should reach on time. See, emphatic here uh, is positioned in such a way. You said that we should reach on time. So even if it is not appearing in the sentence, then too the sentence makes sense, right? So here again, yourself you'll circle and it is emphatic. Mary saw herself in the mirror. Now you want to give more emphasis. Okay, you want to tell. Mary wants to tell that she saw herself. Mary saw maybe Rita in the mirror. Okay, when you see in the mirror, you can see somebody else also saw herself in the mirror. That is emphasizing. And even if it is not there, but the sentence would not saw somebody in the mirror. Okay, so she has seen herself in the mirror. I made the project myself. I made the project can stand. So you will use emphatic pronoun. Myself will act as an emphatic pronoun. In the previous sentence, herself will stand as a reflexive pronoun. Now you'll see the sixth sentence. Please help yourselves with the food. Please help him with the food can also be in the sentence. But please help yourselves. That means we are saying, okay, so yourself, you circle and it will come as reflexive pronoun. The children are grown up now and can take care or can look after themselves. Again, here themselves is laying emphasis on the children, on the subject there, right? So themselves will act as a reflexive pronoun. And the last one, the cat licked itself clean. So the cat licked clean. Licked what? Itself. It's laying stress and emphasis. Okay, so again, itself is a reflexive pronoun, children. Okay, got it? The answer to the first one is reflexive. The second is emphatic. Again, the third one is emphatic, yourself, emphatic. The second one, myself, emphatic. The fourth one, herself, is reflexive. Fifth one, myself, you'll circle, that is emphatic again. Sixth one, yourself, you'll circle, it's reflexive. Seventh one, themselves, you'll circle, and that is reflexive again. And the last sentence, itself, that again is a reflexive pronoun. So got it, children, how you will identify the reflexive and emphatic pronouns? We'll move on to the third kind that we are going to learn today. We're going to talk about relative pronouns. And children, relative pronouns is a very big concept here. Okay, so whatever we can cover, we'll take that and will not go too much in detail. But in your next classes, that is in class 7, you'll get a detailed version of relative pronouns. So just for telling you what relative pronouns are and their uses, we'll see their uses. Okay, so first we'll take up what are relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are pronouns used to join a phrase or a clause with another in a sentence. That is, it needs a relative pronoun to show the relation or to join a phrase or a clause. We had learned about phrases in chapter of sentences, okay, that it cannot stand by itself. So relative pronouns are those connectors. Let's see, take an example. The boy who won the competition is my best friend. Now we are laying emphasis on the boy. And what are we telling? Won the competition is my best friend. The boy won the competition is my best friend. So when I'm using is my best friend, cannot stand. The boy is my best friend is one part of the sentence. The boy won the competition is another part of the sentence. But when we are joining these, we will relate them together using who. Now you'll see in this pink box, Who, whom, whose, which, and that are relative pronouns. Sometimes as is also used as a relative pronouns. You'll see that some of the interrogative pronouns, that is asking questions, those forms are used. Who, whom, whose, which, all these are question words, right? But when they appear in the sentence, they do not demand an answer. They indicate a person, they relate a person, children. So whenever you see who, whom, whose, which, or that, okay, that is not an interrogative word, but when you see these interrogative words, they are placed in between the sentence. Okay, we don't begin the sentence, we are not asking a question. In relative pronouns we do not ask questions, but they are used to join the sentences so that when they are together the sentence can stand or can make sense. Okay, individually if you remove them, then they do not make sense. To lay more emphasis, put in more stress. Now let's see this. Uses of relative pronouns. Who and whom are used for persons only. Whom are they used for? They are used for persons only. These have the same form whether they refer to a singular or a plural pronoun, or any noun of masculine, feminine, or common gender. So, when is who or whom used? With persons only. So, generally, when we talk about persons, we talk about nouns, right, children? So, when we talk about nouns, nouns can be singular or they can be plural. Nouns can be masculine, feminine, or common gender also. So, you've learned about singular, plural, and masculine, feminine, and common gender in the previous classes also, right? So we use who and whom for persons. See the example here. The man, I'm talking about one person. The man who is wearing a pink shirt is my teacher. The ladies who attended the party were happy. So you have seen singular and plural. Now let's talk about masculine and feminine. The boy was blessed by the blind man whom he had helped to cross the road. See the next one. The little girl was guided by the teacher whom she truly admired. Okay, we are talking about the teacher and there the blind man. Okay, now when we use the relative pronouns whom, we have to be very careful. So you read the sentence. There is one more example which is given here where you will use whom and where you will use who. The girls who appreciated the dancers were friendly. The relative pronoun is used as a subject, hence who. Okay. Now, what is the relative pronoun? It is used as a subject here. The girl who appreciated the dancers were friendly about the subject. And now, the relative pronoun is used for the object. What is a subject and object? Subject is what we are talking about. Object is the action which falls on the action of the subject falls on the object. Okay, the person appreciated the dancers whom they. Now here the subject is people, so we're not talking about the people here. Here we're talking about the dancers, so we have used whom in that place. Whom they had met after the show. The relative pronoun is used as object, hence whom. Okay, subject when we are talking about, so who, and when we are talking about the object we use whom. Okay children, so we'll move on to see uh, some more uses of relative pronouns. Whose is used for both persons and things. Let's see the examples. The chair whose color is blue is mine. The teacher called the students whose average marks were low. Only those set of students. The pen whose nib is broken cannot be used. So you've seen the chair, person, the thing, the students as persons, and again pen as things. And what have you used? Which relative pronoun you have used to put, to emphasize, to connect, to relate? You have used whose. Okay. Let's move on to which. Which is used for things and animals. Okay. Not for humans. Okay. Now, the book which I gave him is lost. So I'm talking here about the thing. Okay. Now, when I'm talking about the animal, the deer which was killed was carried to the village. Okay, children. Now let's learn about the uses of that. That is used after both persons and things. Okay. The examples here are: the watch that I bought last year is not working now. He is the boy that I was talking about. So it refers to both persons and things, like whose, right? But again, here it's not a compulsion. Okay, you will not say the watch whose I brought last year. So you will, you're indicating something, so you will write that. He is the boy whose I was talking about. You cannot use you, whose here, which is again used for both persons and things. What you will use? You'll use that. Again, you're indicating. Okay, so indicating is telling about that person. He is the boy that I was talking about. Now the next one. Sometimes we use that after the words all, only, nothing, and none. Let's see the examples. Nothing that he said convinced the judge about his innocence. So along with nothing, you will use that. Again, when you use all that she spoke was relevant to the topic. Now let's see some more clarity on the topic of that. If a sentence has two nouns, one refers to a person and the other to a thing, we should preferably use that in this case. Okay, both the chariot and the lady that could be seen from the window stood there for long. Chariot is a thing and one is a person, and when you're using together, so what you will use, if it has two nouns, now here there is a chariot is one noun and lady is another noun, so you will preferably use that. Okay. Now the relative pronoun that is also used after adjectives, okay, in the superlative degree. So whenever you have superlative, positive, comparative, superlative. Superlative is the highest order or the highest degree of comparison. And we use superlative degree with the, the, right? He is the fastest runner that we have ever seen. Okay. Now here the fastest, they have put the adjective. Now fastest is the adjective in the sentence, the fastest. So what has happened? They have only highlighted this to show you the emphasis. Okay. So you will not underline the fastest as relative pronouns. You will underline that as relative pronouns. Here they are emphasizing on the relative pronouns that. So the fastest, and see the next sentence, most intelligent. So you will not underline these as relative pronouns. They are adjectives, children, but to show more emphasis here they have put them in bold. She is the most intelligent student that I have ever taught. Okay. Now we use some more relative pronouns. Okay. The relative pronouns what is used to refer to things. If the antecedent is not expressed, it means that which or the thing which. Now that is the noun. Okay. Sometimes what cannot be expressed in words must be understood. So here you are not the antecedent here should be the subject. Okay. Sometimes what cannot be expressed in words must be understood, means that which. Okay. Now she had purchased what she wanted to buy. That means the thing is which she wanted to buy. Okay. So here you have used the what to refer to the things. Now what over here are those words, and in the second sentence is the thing, she whatever she purchased. Okay. Now we'll move to the next point, such. The word as is also used occasionally as a relative pronoun when it comes after the word same or sometimes after the word such. So when do you use the relative pronoun as? We will see in what condition. Sometimes it is used after the word such. See the example. She is such a friend as is needed in troubled times. Now, what is the pronoun here? The pronoun is as. Okay, children? The pronoun here is as. Please do not underline such. Her argument is the same as yours. So, again, as is used. Okay, why is it used? It appears after words like same or such. Okay. Now, let's see correct use of relative pronouns in one frame. When you'll use whom and who for persons only, which you will use for animals and inanimate things, whose you will use for both persons and things. That is again used for both persons and objects. It is used after adjectives in the superlative degree and after words like some, all, any, nothing, none. What? When it will indicate that which, that it has no antecedent. Okay. And the last one, as, after words like such and same in the sentences. After the words like such and same as. Okay, children. Let's move on to do the F exercise. Okay, now we have only some sentences here. Let's see these sentences. We have 8 sentences here. God helps those who help themselves. What relative pronouns we have used? What relative pronoun we have used? Who. That is the girl who won the race. Listen to what he is saying. I want a machine which can compute faster than the calculator. This is the painting that won the first prize. Do you know the student who comes from Mathura Road? And the next is, where is the mobile phone which you brought recently? I no longer believe what you say. So you have seen how we have used relative pronouns, children. Now let's see some more examples also on relative pronouns. We have, okay, this is the end of my PDF. We'll do the sentences, these 6 sentences. Okay. I know someone who eats only fruits, right? The White House, which is besides ours, the White House, which is besides ours, belongs to my friend Varun. The shop that had shut down last year is reopening on Monday. My friend whom you met that day is going to the USA for higher studies. The coffee which we had in the morning was regenerating. Regenerating is making you fresh. Okay. The plants that we watered yesterday look quite look healthy now. The plants that we watered yesterday look healthy now. Okay, children. So we are done. I'll stop sharing the screen. So we are done with the three kinds of pronouns today. We learned about relative pronouns, reflexive pronouns, and emphatic. And in my next class, we'll be doing the other three kinds of pronouns. Till then, now you stay safe at home, children. The situation out is not very good. So you stay safe at home, do some creative thing, read books, and also get in tune with your studies. Okay, don't keep it pending for long hours or for a long time. Okay, thank you, children. Thank you for the class.